If you imagine your city in 20 years from now, how would you like it to look? A place where children can play safely? Where the air is clean? Where you can walk to do your shopping? Preparing a sustainable urban mobility plan is about planning for the future of your city, with its people as the focus. It means planning for people. A sustainable urban mobility plan addresses all modes and forms of transport in a city and its surrounding area to satisfy the mobility needs of people and businesses both today and tomorrow. It is not always necessary to develop an entirely new plan. Rather, a sustainable urban mobility plan can grow from a city's existing practices.
The mobility plan really changed the image of our city completely, and now we have very many squares such as the Corn Market, the Old Harbour, the Friday Market, where people can meet one another, where you can drink one of our famous beers on one of the terraces. So the city is again a place for our inhabitants and for the tourists.
The European Commission aims to raise awareness of sustainable urban mobility plans. To do so, it has produced guidelines and training material for urban mobility professionals across Europe about developing and implementing sustainable urban mobility plans. Urban transport and mobility are not ends in themselves. While following the principles of sustainable development, a plan should specifically contribute to higher goals, such as quality of life and the well-being of citizens. This should be the starting point for developing a sustainable urban mobility plan.
I think it was a joint venture between politicians and the people working in the city of Örebro, but we had two big discussions that we wanted to solve, and it was the quality of life in Örebro, which we have a lot of sounds, a lot of emissions from transports, so we could improve the quality of life with less transport and more sustainable transport.
The first phase in the plan's development is about making the necessary preparations. The current mobility situation has to be analysed and different future development scenarios explored. Additionally, this phase includes a self-assessment of strengths and weaknesses, of available skills and resources and those still to be brought in, as well as a clear time schedule.
We started our work with the Sustainable Urban Transport Plan nearly 5 years ago now. And first it was a period of self-assessment, and we tried to figure out where we stand today and what's the challenges and opportunities. And then we start quite comprehensive work within our own organization, just to find out and to be sure that every department is pulling in the same direction, so we get the whole organization on board. I think that's an important part, because otherwise it's just a side project. This must be the main project for the whole organization.
Örebro is now in the middle of the implementation process. The results are a much improved public transport system, better conditions for cyclists, new speed limits, taking away some of the parking from city squares, and a car-sharing scheme together with a private company. Having a sound understanding of the current situation is a precondition for the development of a common vision. Ideally, a city's vision will be developed in cooperation with stakeholders.
It is not acceptable that just the sector which is making the policy on the field of mobility not cooperating with the environmental, with the medical, the policy must be basically the product of all those who should be involved in this.
In the Swedish city of Örebro, the visioning exercise has resulted in the following statement.